Welcome back, class. So in the first chapter we have learned about the op-amp and the different properties of the op-amp, different types of the op-amp, inverting, non-inverting, different applications like summer, difference amplifier, integrator, differentiator, log, anti-log, zero level detector, non-zero level detector, and a lot of applications. So now we are starting our second chapter, which is actually about the frequency response analysis of the amplifiers. Okay, so in this lecture, in this chapter, we are going to learn basically how amplifier are characterized as circuit building blocks independent of their internal circuitry. And if we have the capacitor networks, okay, so how we can analyze the operational amplifier in the frequency domain, okay, and how we can plot the transfer function of the amplifiers, how we can get the useful information, okay. For example, whether the amplifier, your circuit is working as a low pass filter, high pass filter, or other kind of filters, the bandwidth of the amplifier, okay. So all such things is the focus of this chapter. So before going into the details of the actual content, we will have some review of some basics like the Bode plot and the frequency response. So basically Bode plot is the logarithmic plot or semi-log plot. Okay, we know very well that we can get the voltage gain or gain of an amplifier. We have learned that the gain of amplifier is basically the ratio of the output over input. And if we want to represent this thing in log, okay, so we will take for the voltage, we take 20 log of that value. Okay, so the plotting of the response of the amplifier of your circuit in this mathematical form with log is basically called the Bode plot. Okay, so the logarithmic plot basically provides us more better insight to the input output relationship or the transfer function of the system. So the output over input is also called gain of system. This is also called transfer function of the system. Okay, and for example, if the value of the voltage ratio output over input is 2, so 20 log of 2 will be 6.02. Okay, so in frequency domain, okay, the analysis, okay, using the semi-log. Basically Bode plot is for the semi-log. Semi-log means we have two axes, x and y. So x-axis will be linear scale, and the y-axis will be log scale. Okay, so that is called semi-log. That either one of the axes is log scale. Okay, so let's see. For example, this is one plot for the frequency and the transfer function. Okay, which is the ratio of the output over input, and this is linear scale. Okay, that frequency is also linear scale, and the gain, this is also linear scale. Okay, so we can see that for example 0 we have almost -4 value, and then it goes to 14 and it stays at 14 for the complete frequency range. So if we just make this axis in log, so we can see that basically this is not a straight line, just not a simple shift. So this value is gradually increasing to the maximum value, and then it reaches to the maximum value here. Okay, so this information which was actually hidden here is more visible in the log plot. Okay, so this is the idea of plotting, analyzing in the log scale. Okay, so for example 10 to the power 0, this is 1, okay, hertz, this is 10 hertz, this is 100 hertz. So here if you see here, this is 10 to the power 4. Okay, so this is 1 into 10 to the power 4, so this is basically 10 kilohertz here. Okay, so between 0 to 10 kilohertz information was gone. So here now this is coming 1 kilohertz. Okay, so basically just this one has been expanded to this complete here, and we are getting more information about the variation in the transfer function of the system. Okay, so this for example this was 10 and this is 100. Okay, so this is called decade. Okay, 1 decade, and this is 1000, so this is also called 1 decade. Okay, so the change in the frequency from in the log, like 10 ki power, the change of power, 10 ki power 1, 10 ki power 2, 1 decade, 10 ki power 2, 10 ki power 3, another decade, 3 to 4, another decade, and like that. Okay, and in general transfer function, we know very well, okay, the ratio of the output over input is called transfer function. And if you talk about the S domain, we can calculate the transfer function and frequency domain using Fourier transform, Z domain, Laplace domain. So in this chapter, we are putting focus on S domain. We will also see the Fourier transform of frequency domain also. So the general transfer function is, for example, let's say I have a function, transfer function, which is like this. Okay, so these are called the zeros of the transfer function, and these are called the poles. So here we have 0 at -2, and we have the poles at -4 and -3. So these are called zeros and pole of the system. Okay, and remember one thing before going to the examples, that if we have an inductor, okay, we know that the voltage drop across the inductor is basically L di over dt, so derivative of the change in current. And in earlier chapter we have learned that basically derivative in time domain is the multiplication with s in the frequency domain. Okay, so if you talk about the frequency domain, voltage drop across the inductor, so that will be s time L. Okay, because the s is the equivalent to the derivative in time domain. Okay, or we can also represent s is equal to j omega, so it could be L into j omega in the frequency domain. Similarly, capacitor, we have 1 over c integral of I, so we know that integral is basically 1 over s, so that will be 1 over c times I over s. Okay, or 1 over sc. Okay, so the capacitor, the impedance is 1 over j omega c or 1 over sc in the S domain. So these are very important for the basic analysis. So let's analyze a simple circuit, a series coupling capacitor circuit, that we have the input and we have a series capacitor here. We are measuring the voltage across this load. So if we just apply the VDR here, so the voltage drop here will be this resistance divided by the total resistance or impedance of the circuit. So Rp plus Rs plus this impedance. So this impedance is 1 over Sc. 1 over Sc multiply with the input, that will be my output, right, VDR. So the ratio of the output over input, it will be this one, Rp over this one. And if we just do some rearrangement here, why we are doing rearrangement, we want to get this kind of transfer function, okay, where we can easily identify the zeros and poles. So rearrangement is I just multiply this here, okay, and it will go above. Okay, so it will become s into srp into c 1 plus, okay, because this is multiplied here, rp into rs into cs. Okay, and then if we just multiply and divide with this on the both sides, we will get this thing here. Why we are doing this? Because I want to get this form. Okay, so basically here this component, okay, this complete component, we can represent using tau, which is actually called the time constant here. Okay, it is called time constant here. So the transfer function is, and this is a constant k time s into ts, which is another constant, and 1 plus s into ts. So for the series coupling capacitor circuit, the transfer function is k times s into ts divided by 1 plus s into ts. Okay, so here basically we have 1 0, okay, and we have one pole, okay, at the location, and this is the k value. Okay, let me write this in omega, so we can replace s with j omega. So this is j omega ts, divided by 1 plus j omega ts. Okay, so we can get very interesting information from the transfer function. Let's say if I put omega, the frequency is equal to 0, it means my transfer function magnitude, okay, it will be also 0. Okay, so it means when the frequency is 0, if we try to plot the transfer function, we are getting 0. And eventually when the frequency is increasing, okay, for example, let's make it infinity. So if we make this infinity, then the maximum value will be k. So basically as the frequency is increasing, we are getting more high and high value, and eventually we will reach the maximum value. And the maximum value which we can get, that will be k. Okay, so this will be the approximate output response of this transfer function. Okay, here from this transfer function we can get very important more information. So basically if this is the maximum value, so the point where we actually have maximum value divided by square root 2, or we call this 3 dB point. Okay, so the frequency which is referring to this point, it is called 3 dB frequency or corner frequency or breakpoint frequencies. Okay, and we can easily calculate that 3 dB frequency from the time constant. If we want to calculate 3 dB frequency for this circuit, it will be 1 over 2 pi into time constant. Okay, so these are the important information which we can get from this circuit. Similarly, one example we will solve in live session. Similarly, if we have a parallel load capacitor circuit, parallel load capacitor circuit is capacitor is coming in parallel and we are getting the voltage drop here. Okay, so if we apply the nodal equation at this point, okay, so like this current, incoming current, this is incoming current and this is incoming current. Okay, that will be equal to the load current. Okay, so V input minus V naught divided by RS, it will be this current. This current will be V out, okay, divided by RP, okay, or 0 minus V naught, okay. And if we just do the rearrangement, so finally we can get this transfer function here. Okay, so again we have a constant here, we have a time constant which is basically this thing. Okay, so this is the basically equation of RS parallel with RP. So here time constant is this one, and if we want to calculate the 3 dB frequency here, again that will be 1 over 2 pi dB. Okay, now if you look at this transfer function and if we try to plot this one, so if we write this, it will be k times 1 over 1 plus j omega into dB. Now if the frequency is 0, okay, if we put frequency is equal to 0, so we will get a constant value, okay, maximum value. So basically we will get a maximum value k. Okay, now as the frequency is increasing, for example, if we put omega is equal to infinity, very high frequency, so 1 over infinity will be 0. So it means when we are reaching very high frequency, the value becoming 0. So its transfer function magnitude spectrum will look like this one. First we have high and then it's going low. Okay, so in this case, so basically again this is the maximum value. So here we will have the 3 dB point, that will be our 3 dB frequency, which we can calculate by taking the 1 over 2 pi of the time constant. Okay, so this is called parallel load capacitor circuit. We will see the relevant example of this and we will see that how we can actually plot the Bode plot for these two circuits in the live session. Thank you very much for your time here.